We are the representatives of the cosmos. We are an example of what hydrogen atoms can do, given 15 billion years of cosmic evolution. Carl Sagan. Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Sapling, an evolution simulator created by a single developer named Wessel. In my last video, the plants and animals of this planet started to spread and evolve, going from a small lagoon to the whole ocean. We also encountered a species of fish that started to cry whenever it saw food, making it quite altruistic. In this video, we will be taking a closer look at what's going on underneath the waves. Taking a quick look underwater, I saw the same species with the advanced mouth from last video. However, instead of being restricted to the cove like they had for centuries, they had an entire ocean to conquer, and their population exploded into over 1,000 individuals. You could find them nearly anywhere except for the Eastern Ocean, where a larger variant roamed, along with some smaller creatures with large tails and wide mouths. The expansive species, called Torsensis, had a good reason not to go to the Eastern Ocean too, for in this game, a creature can only outright eat another if it is larger than it, making surviving difficult for the medium-sized creatures, and raising young in these environments nearly impossible. During the next 500 years, Torsensis had another evolutionary innovation that allowed them to live longer and have more eggs. A simple instinct that made it so that if they felt cold, they would go away from it. The instinct spread all throughout the cove and increased survivability in the affected regions. However, a new challenger to the species soon arose, called Latidium. This species, which started in the lagoon, was soon in the eastern oceans where the Torsensis population was smaller, but with larger fish, giving the little egg-eating species a chance to thrive. And within these next 500 years, the fish with advanced eyes from the deep ocean had sprung up again in the small enclave, bordering the northern ocean and the cove at the center. They also had omnivore mouths, possibly making them the most advanced species to date. In the southwestern corner, an even bigger advancement was taking place, as large fish with big tails started to spring up in the deepest sections. And they would call to each other when they saw food, making them the descendants of the altruistic species from the end of last video. And after roughly 1,000 more years, this deep-sea fish got pushed out of its home environment and is forced to move north by Torsensis, which, with all of this new sea territory available to it, doubled in number, making it 4 times more prevalent than the closest species. Algae also started to grow in large numbers all over the world, making the ocean a beautiful sight. Life in the lagoon had also drastically changed since the beginning, with camouflage fish with large tails and wide mouths being the only species in the area, leading to an extremely stable ecosystem. And this ecosystem stayed in stasis for 1,000 more years, until something broke the ice. The ring system of this planet has always proved to be a challenge for the flora and fauna, with temperatures underneath it dropping greatly. Not quite enough for ice to form, but enough to freeze all creatures up to now. Some dark-colored plants managed to survive, but no creatures. Until the introduction of rattlelips, which relied on laying eggs under the ring to raise their young safely, and so they could survive with no predators. Rattlelips had a coat of protective fur and had small bodies, but 0% of their eggs were eaten, and more than half of them passed away peacefully. And whilst they might not have had much food to go around, they had no competitors, and they did what no species had done in almost 8,000 years: lay eggs peacefully and guarantee that their young would not be eaten, as long as they stayed in the comfort of the ring. Deep-sea Torsensis also had an interesting innovation. If they saw food, they would go towards it. While this may seem obvious for any species to have, it would boost their survivability in all of the regions where they lived. And after that, the ecosystem fell into limbo once again, for another 1,000 years. And that brings us to the end of the second video in the series. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!